यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी यमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ब्राजलाचार्य सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी भगवान की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्तमुनि की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण मोह गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय गुरु द्वारका धाम की जय स्वामी तो भक्तबिंद की जय और ग्लोरी टू द और ग्लोरी टू द थैंक यू वेरी मच माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
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 How's everyone doing on Sunday evening? Does this
Wonderful.
does this time work better for everyone than the morning time?
I
All
think
the
both
time.
work.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Both work. Whenever there is Krishna Katha happening, all time should work for us.
Yes, we should make it work
Yeah, we should
regardless.
make it. Yeah, nice to hear. Good to hear. कुछ classes का फर्क पड़ा, असर पड़ा है.
सोच बदल रही है.
सोच बदली है. Nice to hear. Okay, good. I think we have some new folks also who've joined in. Abhinav, welcome. Swati, are you joining for the first time?
Yes, I'm joining for the first time.
Okay, welcome to the class. And who's
Thank you. Thank you.
Means? Means is also joining for the first time?
No, I've joined before.
Okay, nice. Okay. And who's administrator? Who's administrator's iPhone? Okay, maybe the person is on mute. Okay, so I think I played one kirtan today, which we last time learned. How many of us remember the kirtan? Hina ji, Hare Krishna.
Not exactly by words, but we can
Should we
follow.
try? Should we try singing that you heard Prabhupada also singing it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. I actually got this in a Word document for you guys so that you could see it easily. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so should we try? So the way to normally sing any kirtan for the Lord is that whoever is leading the kirtan, that person says the first line, and then everybody follows the repeat of the first line. Then second line, then you follow the repeat. Third line, and fourth line. So does anybody want to lead the kirtan? That's, I think Sudipta had a very beautiful singing voice
No,
that
no,
Krishna
no.
has
No,
given
no,
you.
no,
Do you
no.
want us to
No, no,
lead
no.
the kirtan?
No, no. Lalit, I think you should lead. That's okay. We'll all will follow.
Okay, cool. So I'll do, and next time I'll ask one of you to lead it, okay? And then we'll all follow, okay? So first let's do our prayers. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So I'll sing and then you can follow, right? Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunj Bihari
Jai Radha
Madhav Jai Kunj Bihari
Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivar Dhari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana
Yashodharandana Vrajajana Vandana
Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana
Yashodharandana
Vraj Jana Ranjana
Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Banachari
Yamuna
Yamuna
Tira
Tira
Banachari
Manchari
Yamuna Tira Banachari
Yamuna Tira Banchari
Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari
Jai
Jai Radha
Radha
Madhava
Madhava Jai
Jai Kunj
Kunjari.
Bihari.
Awesome. What a lovely start. Everybody sang the Kirtan together. Who knows why do we sing Kirtan? Why do we, you should especially sing when you go in front of the deities, right? You should always make a point to do a small Kirtan, even in your mind, even in your heart, even if nobody else can hear it. You should always have some prayer, which is in a certain sense a prayer that has been coming from our scriptures, from our gurus, to the Lord. Any reason why we do this? Who knows this? I mean, anybody? Any guesses? It's fine to guess.
Uh, Alignment, spiritual wavelength alignment with the deity, an invocation.
Okay. How does the alignment happen? Elaborate.
When you are singing the kirtan, if you're singing it from your mind, from your heart, your mind is aligned towards that particular deity or that particular wavelength, which means that whatever you are going to offer, whatever is the connect, that just gets stronger, something like that. I don't know. Little bit of physics and everything. I don't know.
No, I think it's very cool. It's very cool, right? When we sing from our heart, and we sing a prayer or a mantra in front of the Lord, we are basically trying to connect to the Lord, which means all our senses, right? Which is our, what are the five senses? Who knows the five senses? Sound, taste, what else?
Sound, taste, eyesight,
Touch.
feeling, touch,
Yeah.
smell.
Yeah, so when we put our hand together, we are touching and we are touching and saying, "Hey, Lord, my senses are fully on you." When I sing from my tongue, I'm saying the same. When I hear from my ears, I'm doing the same. When I'm looking from my eyes, I'm doing the same. So what I'm doing, I'm engaging all the five senses that God has given me in connecting to him, in hearing about him and engaging in his service, right? So isn't that so powerful that God, these are the five senses that also give us all the distraction, right? हम एक अच्छा सा बॉलीवुड सॉन्ग सुनते हैं तो वी गेट डिस्ट्रैक्टेड एंड वी से ओ नाइस सॉन्ग लेट मी प्ले दिस और विद आई वॉच अ गुड trailer of a movie or a show, or then I get distracted with that, right? I go out shopping, I want to go shop something with my eyes, right? A tongue, I can hum any other song, or I can hum Lord's song. I can eat any kind of food, right? Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, God offered food, not offered food. But when I eat prasadam, I'm engaging my tongue. When I sing a song, I'm engaging my tongue. Similarly on hearing, right? Overall. So all our five senses, when we engage in hearing the Lord, it basically purifies us. It purifies us. It gives all our body the signals that now engage yourself in the service of the Lord, right? It creates that connection. It's like if you love someone, you talk about them, right? For your kid, for your husband, for your boyfriend, for your wife, or whatever, right? When you really want to show your love, you basically, when you really want to show your love, you sing their good things, right? Because अगर वाइफ पूरा टाइम हस्बैंड को बोल जाएगी तुम तो ये नहीं करते वो नहीं करते, तो लव बढ़ेगा, लव खराब होगा. Sometimes wife also says, okay, now let me say nice things about my husband, right? And husband also makes the effort, let me say nice things about my wife. Similarly, when you're talking to Krishna, it shows that you love him. Krishna doesn't need it. He doesn't need a praise. He is complete. He is Purna, as we sing, and we are small parts of the Purna. He doesn't need anything for us from us. It's not for us. It's for him. We are not there to please God's ego. God doesn't have ego, right? But it's to purify our own heart, right? And create that connection with him, right? So that's something we should understand, right? And that's why whenever we go in front of the Lord, we should try and do some kirtan, some mantra, something, because it helps us purify ourselves. It helps us connect, as Sudipta said, with the Supreme Lord, right? So that's why we do the kirtan, what we do, right?
Hey, sorry, I think my laptop ran into some problem and it's going through a restart. Give me like 30 seconds. It's just, I don't know when it's going to start.
No problem. Till then, can you narrate some Krishna story? Koi interesting sa? Okay.
So what does this mean? Jai Radha Madhav. You can still see the screen, right? I think it's gone now.
No, it's all.
Yeah. So let's understand the lyrics, right? Jai Radha Madhav lyrics. What does it mean, Jai Radha Madhav? Anybody? Hare Krishna, you can hear me?
We can hear you, but
I think the lyrics are gone, but I'll say this and you say. What does Jai Radha Madhav mean?
Sarvashrest, something like that.
Sarvashrest. Okay.
Above all.
Who is Radha? Radha Rani is Radha Rani, right? Madhav is one. What does Madhu do? What does a bee do?
It sucks nectar.
Yeah. So what is Radha Madhav? He is the divine lover of Sri Radha Rani. So we are saying, hey Krishna, you're the divine lover of Sri Radha Rani. What does Kunja Bihari mean? Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari. What does Kunja Bihari mean?
No idea.
Kunj is what?
Kunj is flower, I think.
Yeah, Kunj is flower or a garden, right? So which is the garden where Bihari is the one who stays in the garden, right? He has pastimes in the garden. So which is the garden we're talking about? Where does Krishna has his pastimes? Vrindavan. So it's in Kunja Bihari. All the pastimes that you do in the groups of Vrindavan. What does Gopi Jan Vallabh mean? What is Gopi? Who are gopis? Right? Gopi Jan means all the
Krishna's
gopis. Vallabh.
Krishna's friends from Vrindavan.
That's right? So all the gopis love him. Gopi Jan Vallabh. You are the dearest to the gopis. What does Girivar Dhari? So we said Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivar Dhari. What is Girivar?
Somebody who can lift the mountain.
Yeah, Girivar Dhari. Dhari means holder of the mountain. Girivar is Govardhan, holder of the great hill named Govardhan. Right? Then Yashoda Nandan. Yashoda Nandan Braj Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandan is who's Yashoda Maya?
Yashoda's son, who's
Yeah, Nandan
Krishna.
is son, right? So son of Mother Yashoda, right? Then Braj Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandan Braj Jana Ranjana. What does that mean?
Savior.
Braj Who's Braj Jan? Who are the Braj Jan?
Somebody
People of
who
Vrindavan.
keep the Brajvasis
Yeah,
engaged.
Braj is Brajvasis, right? Like Gopi Jan was Gopis. Gopi, not Gopi, Gopis. Braj is all the Brajvasis, right? Uh, uh, so, he delights all the inhabitants of Braj, right? Yamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna, the river, right? Yamuna Tira Banachari. So, Ban means what?
Forest.
Yeah, forest. So Tir means who wanders in the who wanders in the forest along the banks of the Chari is the one who's wandering. Tir means basically the banks, right? So Yamuna Tir, Yamuna banks. Banachari who wanders in the forest along the banks of the river Yamuna, right? So this is how you should when you hear a we should try and understand the meaning, right? Why are we saying what we are saying? So we're telling, hey, Krishna, you are the divine lover of Sri Radha Rani. You have displayed so many pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. All the you are the lover of all the gopis. Love you like crazy. you hold the Girivardhari, or the holder of the great hill named Govardhan. You are the son of Mother Yashoda, son of Mother Yashoda. You are the Vrajajana Ranjana. You delight all the inhabitants of Vraja, right? And Yamuna Tira Vanachari. You wander in the forest along the banks of the river Yamuna, right? So what happens when you sing this from your heart? Krishna takes notice, hey, who's this singing everything about me? And he smiles. He said, oh, wow, why is he singing about me? It's like, you're talking about someone, good things about someone, and that person hears. What does the person feel?
Delighted.
Yeah, he feels the love towards you also. He said, wow, this person is praising me and telling so many nice things about me. Who's this person? Right? So Krishna takes notice. He says, wow, who's this person who sings such beautiful, nice things about me? Right? And Krishna smiles and he says, he takes notice, saying, wow, this person is talking about me. Let me see who this person is. And what happens when Krishna glances on us?
तो blessings भी मिल जाते हैं उनके
हाँ, और क्या हमें लाइफ में चाहिए क्या? सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या चाहिए?
उनकी blessings
We want Krishna to glance at us. If he does that, khatam baat, everything that we ever needed or want in our life has come to us, right? He looks at us, we look at him. It's like when you look at a very handsome man, right? You say, wow, such a handsome man, right? And then you say, you're going an actress, and you say, उस actress ने मुझे देखा, ओ इस celebrity ने मुझे देखा, मैं तुम तो देखते रहते हो, but उसने देख लिया तो बहुत बड़ी बात है, right? हम तो लोगों को देखते रहते हैं, right? We were out with our team, and we were sitting in a restaurant, and suddenly we saw a whole bunch of Bollywood celebrities in the restaurant. So, so when we saw the celebrities in the restaurant, everybody was like, "Wow, I saw this, I saw this, I saw this." But then one of the girls came running. Oh, Katrina Kaif saw me. And she said hi to me. It was such a big thing, right? हम लोग सब देख रहे थे. But जब कटरीना कैफ ने उसको देखा तो she was like on top of the moon, like, wow, she saw me. जब देखा ही ना, मतलब दोस्ती तो नहीं करी लेकिन देखा, that itself became such a big thing. So when Krishna looks at us and and uh, uh, and Krishna, give a second, I'm trying to join now. My laptop went through a full upgrade and a restart. Sorry about that. Update, not upgrade. Yeah. So yeah. So Krishna looked at us, and Krishna says, "Oh, who's this person singing so nice things about me, saying so much nice things about me?" And Krishna feels very happy. And he gives you a smile. He looks at us, and when he looks at us, our whole goal of our human life is achieved, right? Because the Supreme Lord, the Lord of the universe, the Creator, the Creator of all of us, has looked at us, right? So that's what we achieve. So that's why whenever you go to the temple, or if you have a small temple in your house, or you go and look at deities anywhere, say a small prayer. Remember one small prayer, and say it with your full heart, right? Because that's when you actually get the blessings. मंदिर में हम सब जाते हैं, हम सब भगवान को देखते हैं, लेकिन भगवान हमें देखते हैं नहीं देखते, right? When does God look at us? So God looks at us like this, right? He says, "Oh, who is this person singing my names and and calling me? Let me look at that person." So when we go to a temple, for example, has anybody of you gone to Banke Bihari ji?
जी
कितनी भीड़ होती है वहां पे?
बहुत.
Right, so Banke Bihari ji is like is one of the big main temples in Vrindavan, right? And there's massive crowd. There's massive crowd. The people कहते कहाँ जा रहे हैं, इतनी भीड़ में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, इतनी crowd है, and all of that happens, right? There. So, but when we go there, yeah. Yeah. So, but when we go there, we say, "Oh, we got a glimpse of Krishna." But even if you don't get a glimpse of Krishna there, and you sing this heartfelt prayer to Krishna there, Krishna sees you. So then, what is more important when you go to a temple, when you go to such a crowded places? Does Krishna seeing you or you seeing Krishna?
Krishna seeing us.
Yeah. So by singing just these 4 lines like a prayer like this, Krishna is seeing you, right? So when we go to these crowded temples, we are like, oh, itni bheed hai, ye hai, wo hai, but the deity there is living, and that's why people go there, because the deity is somebody people believe in like crazy. The deity has lots of his pastimes. You go to any of the big Indian temples, Jagannath Puri, Bake Bihari Ji, any of the big temples that you go, right? Tirupati, and wherever the Supreme Lord is there, there's always very very big. तो लोग फिर भी क्यों जाते हैं? तो कहता है मैं देख लूं, लेकिन रियल डिवोटी क्या कहता है कि कृष्णा मुझे एक बार देखे, तो वो हार्ट फेल्ट प्रेयर करता है कि हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधो कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वो दिल से प्रेयर करता है, ओ कृष्णा, ओ राधा, and then Krishna says, oh wow, this person is there, let me go and see him. So Krishna gives you a smile. If Krishna feels like, he'll give you a hug, and you'll see something coming to you. Suddenly somebody will come and give you one flower. That's Krishna's hug. Somebody will come and say, "Hello, prasad. मैं आपके लिए लाया महाप्रसाद." Out of magic it comes. And we're like, ये कहाँ से आया? Right? Sukrut is there in the call. Sukrut had gone to Vrindavan recently, and Sukrut's father and all of them were standing in Mathura near the birth. Sukrut, you should tell the story maybe, right? And they were waiting. His father was tired because of a big line, but suddenly what happened?
The security guard out there actually came along. So we're all sitting, we're all standing, and everybody's waiting. Of all the people, and there's hordes of people. So of all the people, he just picks up dad. He's like, "Uncle, kya kar rahe ho?" He said, "Dad's like, we're waiting for darshan to happen and finish." He's like, "Aap mere saath chalo." So he actually takes the dad along with him. He takes him in right to the thing. He goes in behind the curtains, tells the pujari, "Inko haar do, ye karo," and then he makes him do the entire pradakshina of the mandir and stuff, all of it, all by himself. So where all of us were still standing there waiting for darshan to happen, dad had his own personal thing that happened. And that guy actually offered dad a seat to sit. आप बैठो यहाँ पे, आपको जितना दर्शन करना है करो, सामने से करो, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मंदिर खुलेगा, उसके बाद फिर उन लोग को दर्शन करने दो, उसके बाद भी आप बैठो. So, and that's an experience only he had it, none of us had it. And we were all there with him. And till date, he still remembers that. And gets moist in his eyes when he remembers that.
So what happened? Krishna hugged him.
Yes.
And Krishna told him, "Hey, you come for my darshan," because he had just a second. I'm closing the other. Yeah. So Krishna hugged him and he said, "Hey, you are a devotee of mine. You called me from your heart. I don't know what uncle would have said or what he would have done, but that only he knows. Maybe Sukrut also doesn't know, right? But Krishna just said, come in, get my darshan, come, go, don't stand in the line." And why does this blessings happen? Because from our heart we call out the Supreme Lord, and Krishna listens. Said, "आ जाओ, चलो अंदर आ जाओ. ओ ऐसा चलो तुम्हारे लिए मैं प्रसाद भेज रहा हूँ. अच्छा तुम्हारे लिए मैं फ्लावर भेज रहा हूँ. अरे तुम्हारे लिए मैं माला भेज रहा हूँ." आप जब भीड़ में खड़े होते हो, सडनली पुजारी क्या करता है? He throws a mala. Why did it come to you? It's not luck. It's not that you were strategically standing at one place and suddenly the mala came onto you. It's a mala worn by Krishna. Why does it come to you? Think that day you've called him from your heart. That sudden prasadam, sudden mala, sudden flower, sudden shower of the water offered to Krishna with the pujari's throw like that is blessing. That day you should realize that I did call Krishna really from my heart, and that's why Krishna gave me the blessings that he gave me, right? So the laptop restart, I think, gave us time to do this. I was not planning to speak on this, but hopefully this helps, right? When you see the Lord, you know how to connect with Him. Yeah. Cool. So I think we are now starting with chapter 5, but let me do a quick recap of chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita. I think for those who just joined new, I think we've covered 4 chapters, and Reena ji is planning a recap for all the new joinees. There are a bunch of new joinees. I think not everyone has joined today, but there are about 8-9 of new joinees who wanted a recap. So we'll do a recap at some stage, but I will try and make it simple. So the key to really enjoy the sessions is ask questions, right? So if anything is going over the top because we may have covered a topic before, and in my zest, I've gone and spoken about it without explaining, please ask, right? Overall, so yeah. So I think what we do in every chapter is we have an acronym for every chapter, so that it's easy to remember the meaning of the chapter and understand what the chapter was all about, right? So this chapter 4, when we finished, there was an acronym called EARS, EARS. So E was eternal education, A is accurate understanding, R is removing the reactions, and S is sacrifice. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is spoken when Arjuna is fighting the battle, and he suddenly comes in the center because he tells Krishna, "Oh, take me in the center and show me who's on the other side." But when he sees the people and the relatives and family members on the other side, he's become fully perplexed, and he's saying, "I don't want to fight." So that's when Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to him. So the whole context of the Bhagavad Gita is that Arjuna is in perplexity and Krishna is guiding him, which is very much like us in a daily life, right? We are going through so many situations, and we go through so many situations where we don't know what to do. So what do you need to do then? Just remember Krishna. And this Gita helps you remember Krishna. It helps you understand the Supreme Lord. It helps you understand how to live life, in the way where we can connect to Him and hence remain happy. So this is the chabi or the key to eternal happiness, right? Overall. So chapter 4. Chapter 4, we covered years. So E is basically eternal education. So we learned about evam parampara praptem jivam rajarasho viduhu. So basically Krishna said this knowledge of spiritual science is coming down in Guru Parampara. He said, I gave it to Vivashwan, Vivashwan gave it to Manu, Manu gave it to Ishwaku, and that's where it's coming down from. So which means that anybody who's giving you knowledge, which is his self-manifested knowledge, is basically false knowledge. Knowledge has to come from Guru Parampara. And Krishna is saying, I first gave it to the sun god Vivashwan, who gave it to Manu, who was the first Manu, we are all called Manav, right? Who gave it to Ishwaku, and from there it's coming down. But at one time the knowledge was apparently lost, because sometimes there are unscrupulous people who come in between and the knowledge may become hidden. So now again Krishna said, I'm starting with you, Arjuna. I'm giving the same knowledge to you. And then he said, what is your special qualification? So he told Arjuna, you are my devotee and my friend. So the other piece is, to get knowledge, you should be humble. You should respect the other person, right? And Krishna says, you are my devotee and my friend. So the qualification to receive the Bhagavad Gita is that you become a devotee and your friend. So the reason 10 of you are here today is because Krishna, at some stage in your life or in this life or your last life, you've been a devotee, and that's why you get to hear the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody does not get it. How many billion people right now are hearing the Bhagavad Gita? Many few, right? 10 here, maybe 100 here, some 200 here. A good speaker may have even thousands, but it's this limited few thousands of people in the whole, 8 billion population now who are hearing the Bhagavad Gita. So that's the qualification. So then we elaborated on that. How is it important for us to hear from somebody who's following in the footsteps of Arjuna as a devotee and a friend of Krishna? And we don't want to hear from mundane scholars or misinterpreters or unscrupulous people who are like the honeybee which is licking the bottle from the outside. So how do you eat honey? Not from the outside. You open the bottle, you take a spoon and you open it, not lick the thing from the outside. Just a second. And Rahul just reminded me to change my background because this is a corporate background. Yeah. Right. So we actually want to taste the honey of Bhagavad Gita. So we want to hear it from Guru Parampara. Then I told you about the four sampradayas, right? The four sampradayas that exist from which the knowledge can be taken. And we spoke about Prabhupada coming from the Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya sampradaya, right? So that's how we. So there were the four sampradayas. Who remembers the four sampradayas? The Lakshmi sampradaya, the Brahma sampradaya, the Shiva sampradaya, and then the Kumar sampradaya. So there are four sampradayas. Each of them have their big gurus. So this Prabhupada, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is by Srila Prabhupada, the founder of ISKCON. And Prabhupada comes from the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So that was the first part. The second part is A, which was accurate understanding. Then I clarified three things with these the slokas there, right? I said some people think that you can follow any path and ultimately you will go back to God somehow. It's like saying that, I gave the train analogy. We said you can catch any train and you will go to the same destination. So if you go to the station or the airport and you sit in any train or any plane, will it take you to Bombay or will it take you to Delhi or wherever you're going? Because different trains go to different destinations. So therefore we explained that those people who have a correct understanding about Krishna, that Krishna's body is spiritual, he is eternal, he lives in the spiritual world, he descends in this world, he performs his leelas and goes back, and Krishna's birth and activities are all divine. Right? So those who have very clear understanding about this, for them Krishna makes them his associates, either in the spiritual world or he takes them in whichever universe he goes and they perform leelas with him. Those who think Krishna's body is material made of flesh and bones like all of us, they think of him to be an ordinary human being. Then these people are repeatedly made to take birth again and again. For millions of life they will be taking that birth because they have a wrong understanding of God. Then there are people who go to demigods for material benefits. So they will go to Lakshmi ji saying, please give me gold or money, right? They may go to Ganesha and Lord Ganesha, please give me protection, and like that. So when you go to the demigods for material benefits, even Krishna can give you material benefit. But they go to demigods for quickly getting material benefits without getting their hearts purified. When we pray to Krishna, it is tough because Krishna first wants you to purify, because when he gives you a benefit, you should be able to handle it, right? So we spoke about the Bhaumasura example, right? When Shivji gave the benediction to him that whoever head you touch, that person will die, his head will explode. So he went after Shivji because he wanted Uma, Shivji's wife. And then Shivji escaped from him. And then Lord Vishnu came in the form of a beautiful girl. And then in the dance process, he touched his head and Bhaumasura died. So like that, Krishna first purifies you. He doesn't give you the benefits themselves. Sometimes people find it easy to do to a demigod and get it. It's like people quickly take the banana from the plant tree, they put smoke and they try to ripen it fast, so they can sell and make money. But then when you eat the bananas, it will not be tasty. Similarly, today there's a lot of viral videos going on watermelon. They put an injection to color it and ripen it. It's poisonous. In fact, the color that they use, there is known research to show that rats get cancer, kids get hyperactivity because of it. But just to make some profit, and that watermelon is not even tasty, it may look red. In the olden days, these watermelon guys used to be on the road, so cut करके दिखाता red है तो हम खरीद लेते थे. अब तो red में भी वो color डाल के red कर लेते हो, पता ही नहीं लगता, right? Similarly, right now mango season is going on. All of us Bombay people are crazy about Alfonsos, right? Same, they put injections, and they ripen the Alfonso mango, but they have germs in them, they're poisonous, right? And you'll open, there's में कीड़े होंगे, अंदर से खराब होगा. And then when you eat it, even if it doesn't look bad, basically you're eating some form of poison, right? Though for human being, that just little poison may not matter, but if you keep eating it, then it causes you massive problems, right? So therefore, what Krishna is teaching us that we should not get material benefits prematurely before getting their hearts cleansed. Then he spoke about the caste system, and he says this caste system is made by him, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. We learned about Tata in one of our earlier classes based on the psychophysical nature. It's a very scientific system, and the system offers us a particular type of work that will suit our mind and body. So this caste system is not coming because you're taken birth in a Brahmana family or a Kshatriya family. It's coming because that's our psychophysical nature. So why do some people really enjoy working in the police or in the army? And some of us like to work in corporate, some of us like to be businessmen, some of us just like to be workers, because that's our psychophysical nature. And the whole caste system is based on our psychophysical nature. Because by doing that particular type of activity, we can easily get purified of our controlling mentality. So that's the important part. It's not just because it's nature, but when we do stuff as per our nature, we get purified because of our controlling mentality, because we all believe we've been controllers, right? And of our proprietorship mentality, of our impure mentality. And they can be cleansed by doing the work and offering the fruits of our work to God, which is what we learned about Nishkam Karma Yoga. Right? So that was the whole accurate understanding. When we do our work and we offer the fruits to Lord, we get purified. Then we went on to R, removing reactions. Right? So then Lord Krishna told Arjuna that when you work in devotion, that is better than renunciation, because Arjuna in the previous chapter said, "मैं सब छोड़ के मैं जंगल जा रहा हूँ," right? And so because work in devotion may appear to be a lot of activity, but that is true in action. And in what sense? Because work in devotion, if you offer the fruits of God, you are not entangled in this world, so then somebody may ask that this path of karma, is it binding, because I'm keep on doing something and I'm getting karma for it, right? So why is generally the path of karma thought to be binding? And as an example, right, there's a man who gets married, he has a wife, then he has 2 children, 3 children, then he has to buy a house. Even birds, right? When you will see that bird is pregnant, immediately the bird starts to make a nest. You will see birds picking up twigs and trying to make a nest. So similarly, a man wants to have a wife, then you get a house, then you want a car, then you want a fridge, you want a TV, you want a washing machine, you want to have a good job which pays you more, and then your children have to go to schooling, then you need more money, and sometimes people even go abroad to make money and come. What happens with you? You actually get into a prison. You will see that life becomes busier in money making, putting up the house, maintaining the family members. So where is time for God? So karma can entangle us in immediate material duties in such a way that life gets extremely busy. There's no time for God. And what to speak about, chanting the Lord's name. We've all been learning about chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? And how amazing it has been, right? Or sitting down to hear the Bhagavad Gita as you are doing right now. There's wars going on in the world, but we prioritize that we want to hear the Bhagavad Gita. And because otherwise life becomes extremely busy. Therefore a man begins to think, first let me set right on my material activities, and then let me think about God. जब मैं बुढ़ा होऊंगा, retire होऊंगा, मैं करूँगा. जब तक फिर होता है. It's a very nice video. I'll show you Narad Muni and one of the devotees. And did I show you that video last time? Narad Muni and this man who Narad Muni goes saying, "Chalo, it's time to go back to Vaikuntha." Did you see that video?
No,
Yes, no.
I've seen that.
Yeah, you've seen that, right? So like that, when he gets old, he said, "Oh, now I have such a big business. Now my sons are taking care of it. Let me supervise if they're doing well." Then he said, "Oh, I have small grandkids, so I want to take care of that." ऐसे करते करते मर जाते हो, आपको भगवान का टाइम ही नहीं मिलता, right? So it's like in your school days, you have to study, get good marks, and then you get a good score. Then you want to get into IIT or NIT or IIM. Then you get a good job. You have to work hard. You want a promotion. You are married. You put up a family. You have children. You raise the children in this way. You take any cross section of your life gets busy. That you have no time for God, and it's a very well-known thing. So generally for people, God is the last thing, and therefore many other things occupy. That's how a person doing karma gets entangled. Therefore Arjuna was worried. He said, my dear Krishna, why should I do this ghastly affair as a Kshatriya? I can better renounce and I can purify my heart in the forest and I can go back to God. But then Krishna told him, see, you see, if your heart is not pure, say somebody takes sannyas and his heart is not yet pure, then he feels agitated. He won't be able to give shape to his impure desires because in his heart, is still impure, though he's still in a sannyasi attire. He won't be able to come down. On the contrary, he told Arjuna that work in devotion is better, because if you do work at the same time, you have to maintain a detached spirit. Don't externally detach yourself with the wish of a sannyasi, but you internally develop detachment, and renunciation has to be internal, right? And this is being repeated whole through the Bhagavad Gita, right? Repeatedly. It's emphasizing that you don't need external renunciation, you need internal renunciation. You can still be in a family life, still having a career, still doing it internally, but don't be attached to the fruits, right? And there's a very one example I've heard, right? There was a Raja called as the Shikhodhaja Raja. Once he decided to renounce everything in the world, and then he went to the forest. And while he was sitting in the forest, his mind was extremely agitated, very, very disturbed. So he spent some months in the forest trying to chant, trying to meditate, trying to live the life of an ascetic. One day he met another sadhu in the forest, and that sadhu was very bright faced, very absorbed in God, very cool minded. He had retired from all the activities, and he was also a monk. So when this Raja, who had now renounced and was sitting in the forest, met him in his monk role, Shikhadhoja, he asked him, I see that you are so peaceful, you are so joyful, but look at me, my mind is extremely agitated and disturbed, therefore I seek your advice. Then the other sadhu asked him, but I am meeting you for the first time. I don't know who you are. He said, you don't know who I am? I am Maharaj Shikhadhoja. He said, I don't know who Shikhadhoja is. He said, you don't know who is Shikhadhoja? I was ruling this kingdom, I had so many elephants, I had so many horses, I had so much treasury, so much gold, so many millions of people in my kingdom, so many soldiers, I had conquered this kingdom, that kingdom, I had expanded so far and wide. Let me tell you how many wives I had, and all that he started telling. Then the other monk told him, wait a minute, let's, last half an hour you actually told me about your glory. Now I understand why your mind is disturbed. While you've externally given up these things, you've carried them in your mind and you're attached to them, and that's your problem, right? That is exactly your problem, he told him. So renunciation is not just about giving up things, but giving up attachment to things, and that is renunciation. Renunciation is not about giving up attachment to things that you own, your job, your career, but giving up the pride that comes in the mind that I've given up all the attachments. Right? I am at this position in this company, I work for this company, I stay in this house, I have this car, I have such kids. The thing is, it's not about giving them up, but it's about giving the attachment that comes along with it, right? And one has to give up that pride that comes along with the attachment. And for that, one has to purify the heart. When the heart and the mind are purified, a saint who is fully devoted to God can experience the Paramananda, spiritual bliss, in this world and in the next world, in the next life, right? So till then, you should not artificially renounce the world, but one should work in devotion, which is what is called as, we've repeated this, Nishkam Karma Yoga. So remember, Nishkam Karma Yoga. When you work the work, you do your karma, but it's Nishkam, without attachment, without giving up your pride, right? Without worrying about the results. And therefore for that he told him that be in your situation and do your yagna, you are a Kshatriya, so fight. And then S, he told about sacrifice, right? So how do you do your yagna? He said your arrow is your ahuti and the shoulders, chest is your yagna kund. Like, so you are like a Brahman Arjuna. You take this and you send the arrows this way, that way. And why is this your yagna? Because you are doing this on my order. I am Krishna, the Supreme Lord, telling you. So for my pleasure, you are doing this. You are conducting the Dharma Yudh. So this is also yagna, right? So similarly, brahmacharis do yagna of hearing, which is called a shravanam. So that's their yagna kund and that's their ahuti. Like that we discussed several types of yagna: dravya yagna, tapo yagna, yoga yagna, tatapara, swadheva yagna, na yagna, swadhyaya samsita vrata, sarvapete yagna vido, yagna shapita kalmasha, yagna sisthamrato pujo, yanti brahma sanatanam. He said by all these different types of sacrifices, which karma yogi, who's doing karma, Gyan yogi who's only focusing on knowledge, a strong yogi who's doing yoga and meditation, and a bhakti yogi which is the highest, all are doing. They get purified gradually, gradually, gradually. And all these yagna should be done with awareness, with knowledge that what? I am the servant of God. I am a part and parcel of the God. He is the full, I am a part. Everything belongs to Him. And I am offering this sacrifice to cleanse my heart of all the animalistic natures and the lower natures that I have. In this world, everyone is suffering because they have turned away from God and who are not performing the yagna. That is the main reason. So the very nice story, when Srila Prabhupada went to US, founder of ISKCON, right? For new people who've gone to an ISKCON temple, there is always Srila Prabhupada sitting across the deities. Where he went to America and he challenged in the West. He said, your country is the richest in the world. You have sky-rise towers, you have broad roads, you have big cars, you have dollar notes, and you've reached the summit of material civilization. And still your youths are becoming hippies. They are jumping off from tall towers and committing suicide. Why? Now America, there's gunning happening, right? They just go and gun. There is racism happening. You have so much money, why are you not happy? Because you have turned away from God, he said. Because if money means Lakshmi, but Lakshmi is actually with Narayan. She's always happy at the feet of Narayan. So that money which is born of yagna will make you happy, will not make you frustrated. So that money which is separated from Narayan will cause you unhappiness. So when you are asking for Lakshmi, you also want Narayan in your life. Just Lakshmi will not give you happiness. And it was the Ram Navami, right, a few days back. So what did Ravana do? Ravana separated Sita from Ram and he took her to Lanka. Right? So Prabhupada said, a crying Sita in the hand of Ravana can never make him happy. A smiling Sita standing next to Ram can make everyone happy. Right? So Sita is smiling, standing next to Ram. So we should worship Sita, Ram, Lakshmi Narayan, Radha, Krishna. A lot of us have houses which is called Bhavan. What does Bha mean? Anybody? What does Bha mean in a Bhavan? It's Bhagwan. So it's Bhagwan's one. That's why you'll see people's houses are called this Bhavan, that Bhavan, and so on and so forth. So if you keep Bhagwan, Narayan, Krishna, Rama in your house along with Sita, along with Lakshmi, along with Radharani, then your home is auspicious. Some people only want Lakshmi with hand pouring out gold coins. Right? They do not want Narayan. This is what Ravan also wanted. He only wanted Sita. Right? So he said in America there is a lot of wealth, but where is Narayan? If Narayan is worshipped, the country will become a happy country by connecting Lakshmi and Narayan together. And that is what we learn in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Sacrifice means Narayan is the Yagna Purush, which is ultimately Krishna is the Yagna Purush, who expands into Narayan to accept the Yagna in this world, known as Yagna Purush. Yagna Yo Vishnu. Very simple, right? Yagna means to align with scriptures and act for the pleasure of God. Right? And we spoke about two cultures, the Vedic culture and the anti-Vedic culture. Right? So in the Vedic culture, we also have spoken about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Anybody wants to say what is A? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which is Vedic culture, which is how we should live our life.
Absolute truth.
Amazing, yeah. So you accept the absolute truth, Krishna. What is B?
Spiritual teachers.
Yeah, you accept the Brahmanas or the teachers of this Vedic knowledge. C?
Cow protection.
Yes, you accept the cows and worship the cows. Don't kill the cows. Because cows give us everything: milk, butter, cream, ghee. There are mothers. There's one of the six mothers as defined in our scriptures. What is D?
Devas,
Demigods, amazing. So you accept that demigods who are in charge of administrator of the universe, respect them, understand they're working for Krishna, the Supreme Lord. E. E means etiquettes. How to deal with seniors, juniors equal, how to deal with animals, how to deal with women, how to deal with plants and trees, how to deal with environment. That is etiquettes. And F means
E to lotus feet. Ye to yaad hai.
yeah, just run to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Oh, Krishna! Whenever there is trouble, oh, Krishna, I'm yours. There's another prayer when you go in front of Krishna. You should say this. Oh, Krishna, from now onwards, I'm yours. Which means अभी तक मैं सब इधर उधर भाग रहा था, but आज से मेरे को अक्ल आ गई है कि मैं आपका हूँ. You have created me, right? And you have created me for your pleasure. I am yours. Make me do work for your pleasure because your pleasure is my pleasure, right? So that's what we should run to Krishna and saying, "Oh Krishna, I'm yours. Don't go to anywhere else. Always flee to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord." And what does G mean? G means always be in the mode of goodness. So we spoke about 3 modes of material nature, right? Goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? So we should always be in the mode of goodness. And how do you remain in the mode of goodness? By following the 4 regulative principles we spoke about, by chanting the name, by hearing the Bhagavad Gita, right? By following the quotas we spoke about, right? What are the 4 regulative principles? Who remembers? No meat eating. Who else? Say what the
Give me-
second one. Sorry? Who was saying something? No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. These are the 4 regulative principles. If we follow that, we chant the names of the Lord, like you're attending Bhagavad Gita today, keep attending, hearing, go to a temple when you can. In this way, you remain in the mode of goodness, right? So remember this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Accept Krishna as absolute truth, accept Brahmanas or teachers as the Vedic knowledge, give them respect, you accept cows, give them protection, understand that demigods are administrators, respect them. So when you see Ganpati ji, when you see Lakshmi ji, always pray respect to them, saying, hey, give me bhakti towards Krishna, oh Lakshmi Mata, oh Shiravali Mata, oh Ganpati ji. E means etiquettes, so deal with people properly. F means whenever there is trouble, always remember the lotus feet of the Lord. They say if in a day, if you remember Krishna's feet, your path to Vaikuntha opens, right? So don't go anywhere else. And G means mode of goodness. Always follow the regulative principles, be in the positive mode, eat proper food, and so on and so on. Then your sacrifices align with the Lord, and then you will become happy. Sorry, I think we did a big recap of chapter 4. Right. Now we'll go with chapter 5 and start with that. But given it's been an hour, if you have any questions, we can take it right now. Or if you want, we can do it at the end also. But anybody has any questions, you can ask now. Of the 4th chapter.
So,
No questions? Some of you also attended the quiz last time, so I'm sure recap has happened properly. Right. So now let's proceed to. You want to take a 5-minute break? Okay, you want to take a 5-minute break? Take a 5-minute break. Have water. If you want to go to the washroom or just rest, come. We'll start again in. It's 5 p.m. 5:05 we'll start. Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's start.
Hare Krishna.
So now we're starting with chapter 5, and the acronym for the chapter is STEP. So what does S stand for? Okay, so Krishna is elaborating, right? Arjuna, stay in this world. Don't leave everything and go. Then he's talking about the T, which is twin doers. Right? Who are the doers? Real doers. We all think we are the doers. Right? Then he speaks about E, which is about equal vision. Right? How do you build an equal vision? And then P, which is the peace formula. Right? So we'll start with S. Right? S for stay in the world. Like so, like that Krishna said that you stay in this world. So you may wonder, what is this stay in the world? Don't you have to go back to Godhead? Just stay in the world. What happened? So what happened to Arjuna? You will see here now. Right, so we go to the next slide. So it's saying Arjuna Vacha Sanyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryogam cha Shamsashi Yachreya Itayorekam Tanme Bruhi Sunishchitam. So Krishna is telling, Arjuna is telling in this verse, basically what is Arjuna asking? So Krishna, when you talk about renunciation and Nishkarma Karma Yoga, out of the two, renunciation appears always better, because that person's heart is clean, his knowledge is awakened, and he's almost ready to go back to the ultimate goal of life. So that appears better, right? So first you told me about sannyas. Later you're telling me to engage in worldly activities, offering the fruits. But then I see these worldly activities can be binding. Why? If I kill the soldiers in an irreligious way, then the sinful reactions can touch me. In the same manner, there are some people, like a lot of us are working in offices where there are bribes going on. There may be some sinful activities going on because of bribe in certain professions. In certain professions, people speak lies while selling some commodities. Then some sins may come by that. In this way, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra in their profession, because of some erratic behaviors may come. And then they get entangled in this world, and they may not be able to ultimately attain the goal of spiritual life, which is the soul going back to God. So why not just renounce the world and go far away? This is all of our question, even my question, right? When I first hearing it, that looks an easier part to do it, right? So why not just renounce the world and go far away from the world, live in the forest, just meditate on God, go back. It appears to be such a nice thing. But actually that is counted as irresponsibility for a person who is not yet purified. So actually Krishna has told in the previous chapter, if you remember 3.17, Yastvamvetma ratereva shvad atma triptascha manava atmani iva cha santustas tasya karmayam karyam na vidyate. So Krishna said in the previous chapter, who doesn't have any duty in this world? A person who's delighting in the activities of the soul and the God, a person who is completely satisfied in the soul's activities, and a person who does not depend upon any devtas, but he's a lover of only the Supreme Lord Krishna, and he has nothing to do in this world. He is aloof from this world, and such a person may act or may not act, but in his heart is already aloof from this world. But Krishna, you're not like that. Krishna said, Arjuna, you're not like that, Arjuna. You have the mood of a Kshatriya. You should go do your prescribed duty and renounce the fruits. So Arjuna was thinking, which of the two is better? Again, same question came. So in this chapter, Krishna will get into this a little bit more deeper. Right? So Krishna is saying that he is recommending the spirit of renunciation in work. He is saying the spirit of renunciation in work is better than renunciation of work itself. Understand the difference? Spirit of renunciation in work is better than renunciation of work. So there's an in work and off work. So he's not saying go leave the work, and then don't renunciate the work. You have to have the spirit of renunciation in the work. You understand, right? Clear?
The question, are you clear with the question?
Hmm.
Yeah. So what is Krishna telling Arjuna again and again? He's saying you do your work like for example, some of you are watching this video, right? Some of you are working executives, right? So he's saying be a working executive, do a great job at work, keep getting your raises. If you're a housewife, manage your house perfectly well, family well, do a great job at it, right? But do all that, but while being a working executive, it take time out to read the Bhagavad Gita, to chant the Mahamantra every day, to eat prasadam which is offered to the Lord, stay in the Sangha of devotees, give up sinful activities, raise your children in Krishna consciousness, make a small temple at home, right? And then I told you about the pages of Kota, right? Now these are not like you have to do 10 things, but if you are in the spirit that you are remembering Krishna every time, then you will be in this mode, right? So he's saying don't go beyond the Lakshman Rekha of sinful life. Beyond the Lakshman Rekha, it means it is sin. So God has given us a quota, stick to it. These are all possible for you, along with you being a successful working executive or a businessman or a housewife. In this way, if you practice year after year, gradually you become purified. Then when you become 50, 60, at that time, you would have raised a family, settled the family. Then you can say, okay, I will now spend more time focusing on Krishna. So today, if I'm spending 20%, 10% of my time doing my chanting, कितना टाइम लगता है, right? अगर आप एक राउंड करते हो आपको 7 से 8 मिनट लगते हैं, आप 10 राउंड करते हो 70-80 मिनट लगते हैं, अगर आप 16 राउंड करते हो आपको 2 से 2.5 घंटे लगते हैं, right? In a day of, say you are awake for 16 hours, 8 hours you sleep, right? You are spending only 2 hours and then maybe half an hour more for reading the Bhagavad Gita or something else. That is like the best you can do, 16 rounds and all. अगर आप थोड़ा करते हो आप आधा घंटा भी कर सकते हो overall. But that is such a little part of your time. But as you get more time for yourself, then increase that time. So today, if it's 90-10, when you get more time, make it 70-30. Then you get more time. Then you make 50-50. Then you get more time. Do the opposite. Do 10-90. And at some stage you should be 100 doing only Krishna consciousness. Right? So that is how you have to keep yearning for things in your life, right? And spend time doing that, right? So as you grow older, you can actually take to renounced order, which means give him the work totally at that time. And in that scenario, when you're doing this work, assuming somebody doesn't live so long, something happens. Nowadays, young people, something is happening, somebody's died of heart attack, something is happening, and so on and so forth. But if you're continuing to do this in this process, where today, at this stage of your life, even if you're spending 10% doing your chanting of the name, listening about the God, listening about the Lord, hearing the Bhagavad Gita, reading the Bhagavad Gita, doing as many rounds as possible in your time that you can, you still go back to God. So that's the magic of this, right? And if for some case you don't go back to God, then you take a next life which allows you to do it. You either born in a good family where this is already so embedded, and then you are able to complete this this mission that you started of going back to Godhead, or you may be born in a super rich family which you can do a lot of that. You can give a lot of money, donate a lot of stuff to the Lord, and be in the spirit of renunciation, right? But now instead of renunciation of work, what is better? A spirit of renunciation in work is better for you, Arjuna. So like that, Krishna is recommending, right? Therefore, Krishna is talking about two forms of yoga, right? He's talking about Sankhya Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now, I think till now you understand Nishkam Karma Yoga very well, right? Overall. So what is Sankhya Yoga, right? Sankhya Yoga is also same. Sankhya means to count. Sankhya होती है ना, संख्या हिंदी में संख्या बोलते हैं, right? Sankhya means to count, right? So if you take the body and analyze how many jnana indriyas we have. So Shabd, Sparsha, Ras, Roop, Gandha, right, which is eyes, nose, tongue, ears and skin. Then how many karma indriyas we have? So with our hands we do karma, with our legs, with our genitals, with our rectum, with our speech, that is another 5. So that makes it 10. And then how many bhutas we have? We know we are made of Panch Mahabhutas, right? Which is earth, water, fire and ether. And then there are the 3 subtle elements. There is the mind, intelligence and ego, right? And how many sense objects I have, which is called as the tanmatras?
Therefore, each of the senses there is one. So eyes के लिए क्या है? Eyes के लिए form, nose के लिए smell, tongue के लिए taste, ears के लिए sound, and skin के लिए touch, right? Overall. So that makes it 23. So 5 Gyan Indriyas, 5 Karma Indriyas, legs, genitals, rectum, speech, hands, 10. Then Panch Mahabhutas, which is what our body is made of: earth, water, fire, ether, and so. Then subtle elements 3, mind, intelligence, ego, and then the sense objects, right? Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So that makes it 23, right? Do you understand this? So let's try and ask something on the sense objects, right? So when you see music, what is that? Gyan Indriyas. If you were to take Shabd, Sparsh, Ras, Roop, Gandha, which is eyes, nose, ears, and so on and so forth. So when you hear music, what is that? It's Shabd, right? When you sit in a air condition, that feeling you get is Sparsh, nice cool air condition. When you see in a movie, you are seeing the Roop, which is your eyes. When you are having food, that is Rasa, which is you taste. And then when you hear, when you smell, that is a perfume, for example, it's Gandha or nose, right? So all our enjoyment in life is through these 5 only, and 5 only. That's why I said when you hear God, when you put your hand together and you take God's name in front of the Lord, you're using all your 5 Indriyas for Lord, right? Overall. Right? So all these, but all these elements are coming from the Pradhana, which is the Supreme Lord. That is 24. So Sankhya Yoga is about 24 things, right? And these are the 24 things that we heard. So in this way, Sankhya counts the elements. The reason I'm telling you this is that when you talk to other people, somebody may give you some specific words, so you should understand, right? And this is what Krishna is also telling Arjuna. So in this way, Sankhya counts the elements, the material elements, and the whole world is filled with living beings whose bodies are made up of this conglomeration of these 24 material elements. So all of us have a combination of this 24, right? Somebody's singing is very nice, somebody's food making is very nice, or somebody's food eating is very nice. Somebody's smell is so strong, they can make the most amazing khana, right? Somebody's speaking is so nice, right? And then of course the pancha tattvas and all the other elements, the hands, legs, and all. So we are all combination of these 24 material elements, right? And within these 24 elements is seated a jivatma, which is different from this 24 element. This is our soul, right? I am different from this. I am a driver of this material body. I am inside this body, right? And to understand all of this is called jnana, right? Right? So you understood now what does this mean, right? So Sankhya means to count, Jnana means to know the difference between the body and the soul, and Karma Sannyas, which is the chapter, means that you thoroughly understand this, you know, you analyze the temporary material world around you, and then you do develop detachment from these material activities, because material activities arise from material desires. You know material desires will produce painful situations, and there are 5 painful situations people can get into, right? So there is penny, there is people. Actually, let me write it. Should remember this. Okay, I will write in the chat only. I think everything that I'm doing is getting updates. My iPad has gone for an update. Right. So there is penny, there is people, there is possessions, there is position, and there is pleasure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just put it in the chat. Okay. So these are the 5 P's that can pinch us. These are the 5 painful situations, right? So let us go from, say, pleasure. So it's like if you eat a gulab jamun, right? One second. So you eat a gulab jamun, you eat one gulab jamun, then you eat second, then you eat third, you eat fourth, you eat fifth, and after you eat a lot, then your stomach starts to pain, right? So sometimes there are certain items that are not good for you, but we still want to eat it. So the pleasure turns into pain. Correct? Understand? So like that you have diabetes, but you still want to eat sweet. You know it will harm your body more, right? So similarly, the pleasures arising from the 5 senses. So they are similar. So similarly, these are pleasures. These like pleasures arising from the 5 senses. So not eating is not the only problem. The problem is with the eyes. Eyes want, and the second thing. So this was the taste, right? Similarly, take eyes. Eyes want to see beautiful forms, right? Ears want to hear rock music, right? By hearing it, our biological system gets toppled. So in this way, you will find our 5 senses are always chasing after objects of senses in this world, and they get into trouble, right? In the Bhagavatam, there's a very beautiful example given. There's a man who's already married, he has children, but he becomes interested in another woman. So when he tries to meddle with the other woman, all the relatives of that woman, they beat him up. They beat him up, break his hand, leg, they chase after him, and he runs away, right? So it's similar. Other example that is given is the honeycomb, right? A man tries to pull the honeycomb to drink some honey, and all the honeybees are stinging him. So in this way, our senses always want to do some wrong things and get into trouble. So this is pleasure. Similarly, so this pleasure. Second one is possessions. When you have possessions, you know, you get other people get envious of you. Then they try to trouble you, right? And some people will always want more and more and more possessions. Like Duryodhana wanted more and more and more. Right? Krishna told him, just give 5 villages to Pandavas. The Pandavas are ready, but he was ready to give 5 villages. Ideally, they should get 50-50, right? Actually, the Pandavas should be ruling, but and forget all that. Krishna told Pandavas, and Pandavas said, okay, 5 gaon de do. But usko aur nahi chahta, usko wo bhi rakhna. He had the whole world to rule, but he just didn't want to give him 5 villages, right? Similarly, then position, right? Positions. Some people, for the sake of position, will do anything. They will compete. They will bite each other for position to go up. You know, and here the example of a crab is given. I think I'm not shared the slide. Let me share the slide. So the example of a crab is given. One crab is going up, the other crab pulls him down, right? Similarly, in companies, we have fight for positions, right? Somebody is trying to get one position or other. Similarly, penny. People think if you have a lot of money, you can be happy. But people who have a lot of money are sometimes murdered by other people. People who have a lot of money, they also find quarrels in their home. You will see the big industrialists, there will always be quarrels, right? Saying, you know, I want this share, I want that share. So even too much money can lead to quarrel overall. And in fact, in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Avdut Brahmana section, there are 15 problems defined as arising from money, wealth, right? So one is theft. Second one is called desire for wealth leads people to steal. The second one is violence, right? People will harm others to acquire or protect money. Then it's falsehood. Lying becomes common for financial gain. Then is hypocrisy, pretending to be something we are not. Then is lust. Wealth fuels uncontrolled desires. Then is anger, when desires are not fulfilled. Pride, I'm wealthy, I'm superior. Then arrogance or intoxication, means mad, ahankara, loss of humility due to wealth. Then envy, comparing with others and feeling jealous. Then distrust or enmity. Relationships break due to money issues. Addiction to sense enjoyment. Wealth increases indulgence. Gambling tendency, desire to increase wealth quickly. Anxiety, which is chinta, constant worry about gaining, keeping and losing money. Illusion, which is moha, thinking money is equal to happiness. And bondage ultimately leads to deeper material entanglement, right? So money itself is not bad, but attachment to money creates a chain of problems that disturbs our mind, relationships, and spiritual progress, right? So in ISKCON we say use wealth in Krishna's service, it purifies. When you use wealth for selfish enjoyment, it binds, right? So now, anybody wants to repeat the 5 P's without looking at the chat?
Penny, possession, position, pleasure, एक और था.
Yeah. So penny, people, positions, position, and pleasures, right? Penny, people, possessions, possessions, and position and pleasures, right? So what does a Gyani does? He thinks, oh, these material desires means developing attachment for dhanam, janam, sundarim, for wealth, for women and position, possession, followers, and all these things. He thinks, let me become aloof and go to the Himalayas. Let me stay in the Himalayas and just do Om, Aham, Brahmasmi, like this. They let me do. And then I will let me not indulge in any material pleasures. I can go back. But the problem is that what I told you, right? There's also a story of Vishwamitra, right? If you try to withdraw from this world and go, if your heart is not yet clean, he became triggered by his ego, and his ego was it led to him competing with Vasishtha Muni, and then he created a new swarga called as the Trishanka Swarga, and all the tapovilam he had done by meditating for years and years together reduced. Then again, the next time he performed severe penance, and then the second time he got attracted to Menaka, so he had a lust problem. Right? Again, his tapovilam reduced again, and he produced Shakuntala with Menaka. Then again he went to the forest, and again increased his tapovalam and became very, very serious. He said, this time I'm not gonna do anything. Then Ramba came and showered him with those parijata flowers, right? Those are flowers from heaven. This time he became angry. He said, last time Menaka cheated me, this time somebody else has come to cheat me. So angrily looked at her and turned her into a stone. Again his tapovalam went down. So in this way, Vishwamitra Muni was defeated several times because his heart was not pure and he was trying to renounce externally. Right? So therefore Krishna warned him. Of course, Vishwamitra finally became pure, and then he became a Rama Bhakta, and then he got the padavi of the Brahma Rishi from Vasistha, and he took Rama and Lakshmana to the forest. He killed demons like Tattaka, and so many other things happened. But only when he became a Bhakti Yogi, he became perfect. Until then, he was going through several troubles in life because of his impure heart. So therefore, instead of one quickly renouncing the world and going to such a path, Krishna is telling that you follow this Nishkarma Karma Yoga, and this way you can have perfect knowledge, right? And what is it about? That I'm not the material body, I'm the spirit soul, I'm part and parcel of the Lord, right? So here you see some pictures of people, right? In bottom, if you see the second and third picture, these are two industrialists. One is Mafatlal. You heard of Rishikesh Mafatlal, the big Mafatlal Industries, and the other one is Srinathji, a power group, right? And even now, for example, people like Piramals and all, these are big industrialists. But you meet them, they will tell you, I'm not the material body, I'm the spirit soul. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I want to render seva to Krishna, and I will work in a detached manner in that mood, right? I don't know how many of you seen this Vedanta group, right? Anil Agarwal, he is a full Krishna devotee. He comes and chants in the temple, he does kirtan in the temple, he follows all the rules. Such a big industrialist, right? Is an example. Even now, I think even this younger son of the Ambanis, right? He's so spiritually inclined. So this time, I don't know how many of you saw, he had his birthday in Mantara. Of course, all the celebrities came and all. But this time he did a Kirtan concert. So there's a very famous ISKCON devotee called Radhika Das. He had concerts in India last month, right? He lives in UK, but he does a lot of Kirtan concerts, right? He was there. The Maithili Kumar, who's become an MLA, the singer, she was there. She's on ISKCON devotee also. So they performed all the kirtan and concert there, and everybody was seen dancing, right? The Ambanis to celebrities like Ranveer Singh and what's this, Devi's daughter's name, whatever, right? All of them were dancing. Actually, I don't know if you've not seen it on Instagram, you should see it. Let me see if I can just show you, search for it on YouTube and see if something like that. Give me a second. Yeah, I think I found one video on YouTube. I just searched Radhika Das at Ambani family. You can see my screen?
Yep.
Sound is not coming, no? You can hear sound?
Yes, Lalit.
Yeah. Right, so let me share the screen back again. So yeah, so even these people, right? If they are getting so spiritually inclined, and there's something bigger than money, right? That they have, right? So in this picture, you also see there's a devotee girl doing Bharatnatyam, and she's serving Krishna by dancing. There's a family which is doing music bhajan. So in this way, you can actually be a householder. You can have husband, a wife, children, everybody. And you can be in Krishna service. In fact, there's a good family that we know. Let's again go to YouTube and see this whole family. It's called as the surname is Jani. They are Gujaratis. Again, staying in London, and okay, I'll show you. They have this thing that they do kirtan.
Good morning. Hare Krishna.
All these kids in the family, right? Of course, these kids have grown up, but they still do kirtan.
Yeah.
But this whole family. This video has got about 30 million views or something like that, right? But this is how to raise a family, right? The whole family is spending time in the Lord's service, right? So you can be a householder, you can have a family, and you can still serve Krishna. Then you see some pictures of devotees distributing spiritual books. You can see my PPT, right?
Yes, Lalit.
Some reason I can't. Anyway. So there are hundreds of activities you can do, right? When Srila Prabhupada went to the US, he realized there was somebody who was a carpenter, right? So he told him, make raths for Krishna. He told him, make the altar for Krishna. Then he saw one devotee, Jadurani Mataji, who could do painting. She was an amazing painter. So all the paintings that you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all the ISKCON books, even within the temples, is made by this American girl who met Srila Prabhupada in the early day, and she's now a full-time devotee, and she does this beautiful art, the most beautiful art of Krishna, empowered by Prabhupada she makes. So she was a painter and he did that. Similarly, there was somebody called as Howard, and he, of course, the initiated name became Hayagriva Prabhu. He told him, "You're so good in English, you edit my books." Right. Similarly, there were some devotees. He told you make dolls. Somebody said somebody was very good at that, so then you make dioramas. And there's a beautiful exhibition in LA called Feet, which is the first Asian transcendental exhibition. If you go to LA, it's a stone away thrown from the ISKCON temple. It's a beautiful exhibition that Prabhupada inspired some people who had that skill and capability to do it. Overall, so Prabhupada actually engaged different devotees in different types of services basis their skills, and ISKCON now has distributed more than 60 crore of spiritual literature all across the globe, and in this way Prabhupada engaged different devotees in different services. So in this way, Nishkam Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, the difference is that Nishkam Karma, there are two things: there is work and there is results. You are attached to the work, but you give the results to Krishna, right? Like for example, somebody may have a marble shop. He says, I like being a marble businessman, but I will give say 2 lakh worth of marble to construction of Krishna temple. So he's holding a shop, he's attached to the shop and the work, but he's giving away the fruits for Krishna service, right? But in Bhakti Yoga, you are neither attached to the work nor you are attached to the fruits. You give both to Krishna and you tell Krishna, whatever you say, I will do. Like Arjuna eventually will say, right? Karishye vachanam tava. Krishna, my dear Krishna, you tell me to fight the battle, I'll fight the battle. You tell me to go to the forest, I'll go to the forest. Whatever you say, I will do. That is Bhakti Yoga. So Nishkam Karma Yoga means you want to do a particular work, you have a favorite work, but you're ready to offer the fruits of Krishna, right? For example, there's one Mataji, she makes amazing gulab jamun, right? So she'll make gulab jamun very nicely, and after making gulab jamun in the temple, she will go and ask everybody, did you like the gulab jamun or not, right? Or not, which means she's attached to the making work of the gulab jamun as well as the results also, whether everybody liked it or not, right? While there's another Prabhuji who used to make jalebis in the temple. He would come, he would make a lot of jalebi and he will go off. He would never even ask any devotee, was it good or good. That means he was attached to work but not too worried about the fruits. So, and he gave it to Krishna and he left, right? So there are devotees who will come into the temple. He said, I'm here in the temple for 1 week, you make me do anything. You want me to clean the toilet, you want me to give class, you want me to go and do kirtan, you want me to distribute books, I'll do anything. And these are very rare devotees, right? Who says anytime, any service, and that is called dedication. So Bhakti Yoga means dedication in this, right? So I'll give you the example of the Mataji lady who used to make gulab jamuns, who was attached both to making the gulab jamun while she's making and also the results. Prabhuji, a gentleman who came and made jalebis, who was attached to making the jalebis, but he was not worried about the fruit. He never asked कि अच्छा है नहीं है कैसे, because उसको कहा मैंने करा, I'm not attached to the fruits. And then there are devotees who come to the temple and say, मेरे को जो कराना करो, झाड़ू कराना है, पोछा बनाना है, toilet साफ करना है, anything I'll go out and do this, and that is Bhakti Yoga, right? So Bhakti Yoga actually means dedication, right? So and Nishkam Karma Yoga has 3 components, right? First of all, you have clear awareness that I'm the body, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Then you're ready for entering your work as a service to God, and then you are also having detachment from the fruits, and that is what we will go on more deeper ahead and ahead, right? Yeah. So I think this we've covered, right? When Arjuna asked what is the, I think in the second chapter we covered it. Arjuna asked, how do I recognize who's a yogi, who's a Nishkam Karma Yogi? So he'll say, who are you? I'm a servant of God. What work do you do? Work allotted by God. How do you do the work? I work hard with sincerity, dedication to my best ability. And what do you do with the results? I hand it over to God. Right? So if you see, there's a gardener doing gardening. He's the servant of the landlord. The landlord has allotted him the work to do gardening. How does he do gardening? With full diligence, full dedication and sincerity. And when you ask him, what will you do with the flowers? He said, I'll pluck it and give it to my master. Right? This is the way we all are right now, right? This guy is working in the garden. Our own body is like a garden, right? And in this body we have eyes, ears, everything, the senses, the facilities. Right? With the same body, you do some work in the world and understand this body is given to me by God. My abilities are given to me by God. My brain, everything is given to me by God. let me do some work, because God has given me this body, and everything I will give my results to Him. Like that, He gives the results to Him, right? And then what do you want? To connect with God and purify my heart, right? And I'm doing this for His pleasure and to purify my heart, right? So this gives you a good example of a Nishkam Karma Yogi, right? That you're doing work, you're doing everything in the best possible manner you do, and you're saying, I don't worry about the results. The result is gone. So you may still be attached to the work, but you're not attached to the results, and you're leaving the results to the to God, right? So now we'll go one step further on this, right? When we do any work, we have this doership mentality, for example, right? If I create something, I become attached to that creation. For example, you do some project, right? You become attached to the product, to the project. You now want to go and tell everyone, oh, I did this amazing project. You have written this book. I've done this. I've done that. And you're trying to find people. एक बार तो सुन लो मैं क्या दिखा रहा हूँ. I'm going to show you what I've done. See, read my book, and so on and so on and so forth. But you are all about my book, my project, my creation, my intelligence, etc. Right? And this is called as doership. Right? Right? So what we have to do is we have to shift our attitude from doership to divine, right? Eliminate the feeling that I did it. I can only do it. We can't do we know that we can't do anything for our own without God's sanction. Right? There's so many uncertainties in life. For example, now IPL is going on, right? There's one of the star cricketers who they paid like 20 crores for, right? Now this cricketer has got injured. Just one day before the match, he was doing practice and he got injured. Is it in his hand that he earns the 20 crores? अभी वो injured हो गया, खेल ही नहीं सकता, fracture हो गया, क्या कर लेगा? So there's so many uncertainties in this world, right? So we have to eliminate this false ego and doership feeling while doing work as a faithful servant of God, and we should not take any credit for the work done, and humbly surrender the reward to God. For example, I got a promotion. I'd say it's all because of Krishna's mercy. I had no qualifications. You worked hard. You've done everything for it, but it has happened because of the skills that Krishna has given us, because of the intelligence Krishna has given us, because of the body parts that we have. It's all Krishna's mercy. So basically, it's very simple. You humbly surrender the reward to God. Don't say I am the doer of those things, right? For example, Lord Ram, he told Hanuman, you are the best servant I've had. He said, you are so intelligent. You went to Lanka, you found out Sita, you created terror in the heart of Ravanas. In the Ravana, you created terror in the hearts of all the Rakshasas and the Rakshasis there. And you went to Lanka, you studied the situation, and you also put fire on Lanka. And then you came back and told me everything. So Lord Rama was glorifying him. Hanuman said, my Lord, whatever I did is because of your grace. It was your mercy that always I was carrying me ahead. It was with me. So he surrendered everything to Lord Ram, right? So now you will say, if I'm giving, I think Sudipta asked this question in the group also. If I'm giving everything to God, everything is given by God, what is the motivation for my work, right? So there's a prayer we say every day. It's a prayer that we do at the start of most things that we do. It's called Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjaya Shalakya, which means I offer my namaskar to my Guru, who put the ointment of knowledge in my eyes, which I understood the spiritual knowledge, right? So Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjaya Shalakya Chakshurun Meritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama, right? I was born in this darkened ignorance, but my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances to him, right? So this is basically our prayer that we say, right? So whatever I'm practicing, for example, whatever I'm practicing, whatever I'm able to speak, all this credit goes to my Guru. And if you're finding any defect, any kind of shortcoming in this lecture, where I spoke erratically, I spoke something different, I spoke something wrong, or I spoke badly, it's all my limitation, right? But whatever good is coming from me is coming because of my Guru, and that is the mood of a disciple. A disciple thinks that if there's any shortcoming, it is mine. If there's any glory, it's Guru's or it's Krishna's. and that is the meaning of giving credit, right? So now somebody may say, if you give all the credit above to God, if God has created everything, let Him do only. I should just relax. So like that, one may think, right? So then talks about what can be the motivation for our work, right? The first motivation I told you, right, is purification of heart, right? Just like water, right? In the bucket, right? If you put a mug inside, the water level will rise. If you take off the mug, what happens? Immediately it fills up. That's called the law of the displacement of water. Similarly, in this world, you will see many times we think, without me, things cannot go on. But if you move out of the situation, things will go on. We all know this. We are all replaceable, right? And this is a story which I think I can talk about, right? There was one king who said that, boss, without me nothing can go. But he also wanted to renounce everything. But he was like, mere bina hoega nahi. So his minister told him, my dear king, don't worry. You're already at the age of retirement. If you move out, things will still go on. But the king didn't believe it. But upon the request of the minister, the king agreed to go to one matha and live there for a week. So when he went to that matha and he changed his clothes like a monk, the neighborhood kingdom came to know about this. The king missing ho gaya, and he had a son who was only 12 years old. So the neighborhood king attacked the king. He said, now there's not even a king, I will attack it. As soon as the king came to know of it, he called the minister and said, can I come back? There's going to be a war now. Minister said, no, please wait, take it cool. Your son wants to lead the war and he's ready to take all of us. But the king was in great tension. So this small boy, this 12-year-old boy, took all the soldiers, the commander-in-chief, the entire army and waged the war. And he defeated the other king. And in fact, he took over the neighborhood kingdom. So everybody showered flowers on him. He said, now make this prince our king. Right? And by this time, that 1 week was over. So the king asked his minister, now can I come back? Now my son has conquered the kingdom. He will need my guidance. I don't know how he's going to rule. So the minister said, don't worry. Wait and watch for 1 more week how he runs it. Alright, so it's like that. This is the fun of the story. In this world, many a times a man thinks that I am the first one to do this. Nobody else can do it. Without me, this cannot go on. And we have this kind of ahankar, as we call it, right? It is a cause of impurity in our heart. That should be given up. And everything is ultimately done by God only, right? I've told you one more story in the past, right? There was this farmer. He said, oh God, why have you made my life so troublesome? I have to do so much hard work. So God told him, who gave you the seed? He said, you gave me the seed, God. Who gave you the earth? You gave me, O Lord. Who gave you the rains? You gave me the Lord. Who kept the potency in the seed to germinate and grow and produce flowers and fruits? Oh, you only gave me that, Lord. God asked him, then what are you doing? He said, I'm putting seed under the ground, and for this, and then God told him, for this you are very tired. So God actually does 90% of our work. We should realize it, that 90% of whatever happens in our work also is God. So it's better that it's intelligent on our part to give Him credit. I sometimes am in meetings and realize ये कहाँ से मुझे आया, and then I said, अरे ये तो मेरे को पता भी नहीं था, but how did I speak that? It's all coming from God. 90% of what we do is God. So by thinking like this, we should know that God is giving me the opportunity in this world to improve myself. And we should give up that ahankar, cleanse my heart and go back to Him, right? So this is two things, right? We should be motivated for purifying our heart, and we should know that God is not dependent upon me and you for running or helping this world. We are simply given the opportunities to help others by God to improve ourselves, right? Then I think the third one we should remember, right, that I'm not indispensable, right? We are simply becoming instruments in the hand of God, and we should do it willingly, right? In case we don't want to be that instrument, Krishna will give the opportunity to someone else, right? In the 11th chapter, actually Krishna tells this verse to Arjuna, right? Tasmatvam utista yaso labhasya jitva satrun bhungsva rajyam smardham mayavate nehatam purvam eva nimita matram bhuvas savya sachin. Hey Arjuna, look at this big Vishwa Rupa Darshan I am showing you. All these soldiers, like Maya Yete Nihita Purvam, all these soldiers in the other side, like like Duryodhan, Karna, everybody, they are entering into my flaming mouth. So already I have killed them. Then he says, Purvameva Nihita Purvama. In this destiny, you've already killed them. What you have to do is this. What you have to do? Think this is my Kala Rupam. I'm showing you. You become a nimitta and you fight, right? You become an instrument and fight on my behalf. And if you don't agree to fight, then I'll put someone else in your place. But I've decided at the end of the battle there will be dharma, will be established, and therefore I'm going to give you two things, Arjuna. What are the two things? Tasmata utishta yesho labasva. You take the fame of winning the battle. I don't want the fame. I'm giving the credit to you. And then he said, Bhungsva Rajyam Samardham. Take the unrivaled kingdom of the entire world. You can rule the world. Number one. Number two, you take the glory of winning the battle. Everything is yours. Although I have done the work, credit will be given to whom? To you, Arjuna. Like that Krishna is telling, right? And that is Krishna, you can see that. He is a non-credit taking God. In this world, all of us are in the mood of grabbing credit. But Krishna doesn't take credit. He's ready to give the credit to his devotees. And we just have to become an instrument, he says, right? And by becoming an instrument, to Arjuna he said, by becoming an instrument like this, in this battle of Dharma Yuddha, you get the glory, right? There's a very nice example my Gurudev tells, right? There was a village and a snake came in the village. Everybody ran into their houses and climbed on the tabletop so that the snake cannot catch them. Then one man shouted, "Hey, sab log aa jao, all of you come out. Now the snake is dead." He said, then everybody became happy. They ran down, they jumped down from the table, ran to see the snake. It was a dead snake. Somebody had taken the iron rod and crushed the head of the snake. And the snake was turning like this and then it died. Now all the villagers, they took their sticks and hit the snake also after he was dead. Right? Because now you can hit the snake, he's dead. There was a kid out there. Then kid next day went to school and told all his friends, "I killed the snake." Everybody said, "Wow, such a small kid, what a hero, he killed the snake." Right? Similarly, Krishna said, "I will kill the snake. You just take a stick and beat it. That's all. I've already killed all these fellows, Arjuna. You just have to play a role of an instrument and I'll give you the credit of winning the battle." Like that Krishna is telling Arjuna. So therefore we should know, it's not that we are the only instrument. There are thousands of instruments Krishna can use. But some people say they are doing a great favor to God or to people. That's called as the egocentric mentality. That should be eliminated. If you do any good to the other people or to God, as soon as is possible, we should forget it. You know, when we do good, we tell 10 people, "Oh, मैंने आज इतना खाना बांटा, मैंने आज बुक्स बांटी बच्चों को, गरीब बच्चों को, मैंने आज मंदिर में ये सेवा करी." The best way to get rid of all of this is to forget it. Whenever you do good, forget it, right? But if you take a favor from Krishna or from something, when Krishna gives you something or somebody else gives you something, you should remember it all your life. If you adapt this mentality, whenever you're doing good, forget it. And whenever you're taking a favor from somebody or from God, when you see it, you should remember it all your life, right? This is the way of really living this life, right? But generally what happens? Exactly the opposite. We get many favors from Krishna, we conveniently forget it, and we do a small help to everybody. We keep on pointing it, we post it on Instagram, we tell our friends, we send it to family members, we send it in the family group, we send it in the school, college group, saying about it again and again, right? So these are the four points, right? That you should remember, right? Of the motivation of doing work. It's for purification of heart, remembering that ultimately everything is done by God. I am not indispensable, and I am not helping God or others, and that is the motivation for work, right? Which is cleansing the heart of controllership, proprietorship, endorsership, this whole egocentric feeling. We should give up these things, and then only we become pure. Originally we are pure like that only, like rainwater is pure, but when it touches the ground it becomes muddy. But we have to again purify it, and that's what we are doing through this Nishkam Karma Yoga, right? So in this way, you will never be untangled, right? So I will stop here, and we will continue in the next class. So if there are any questions, you can ask, right? Overall, so I think one question, I think you asked in the group, is it become clear, or you need me to answer it?
lot clearer. I think we'll
Okay.
try and implement these
So let me,
logical things.
yeah,
to that.
let me make it a little easier. So one, you know, you said I'm not the doer. I shouldn't be interested in the fruits of my work. How do I keep myself motivated to perform at work, home, etc.? There won't be any scope for promotions at work, if improvement at home, right? One, not being attached to the fruits is not equal to not caring about results, right? It doesn't mean I don't care, I will do it casually. The correct idea is I care about doing my best, but I don't get disturbed by the results, right? So what Krishna actually teaches, Krishna never says don't work hard. Krishna says do your duty properly, but don't be mentally dependent on the results, right? So this mindset that was I work for promotion, I work for salary, I work for recognition, is the motivation for that is ego or reward. But Nishkarma Karma Yoga, which is what we're discussing, it says I work because it is my duty. I work because Krishna has given me the opportunity. I work as a service to Krishna. I work to give my best. So the motivation is dharma because it's my duty, because Krishna has given me that duty. And the motivation is service. I do it as a service to Krishna, to give it my best, right? I also give you one example of a cashier, right? A cashier handles hundreds of rupees, crores of rupees every day, but he's very careful, he performs perfectly. Why? Because it's not his money, but it's his responsibility. Same with the work that you're doing is not mine, it's Krishna's service. So you become more and more sincere because Krishna is giving you that job, Krishna is giving you the service. So when Krishna gives you something, will you become more sincere or will you say, "Acha, chhod do, main kuch nahi kar raha." But do it without caring about promotions, without caring about increments. Do it like the best you can with full sanity because it's Krishna's work. He is giving you that. He is giving the skills to do it. Your intelligence, your mind, the opportunity, He is giving it to you. Right? In fact, will promotion stop? In fact, you become more focused. You have less anxiety because it's Krishna's giving. You perform better. And naturally promotions will become better. Right? So the whole shift in mind you have to take is, if you work for saying I want promotion, it causes you stress. But if you say I give my best and leave the results to Krishna, it gives you more peace, and you perform better, right? So attachment leads to anxiety, it leads to fear of failure, it leads to frustration. The mind becomes disturbed. But what does Nishkam Karma Yoga means? Calm mind, better decisions, steady effort, right? Like IPL again, I'll give you an IPL example. If a player is playing, I want to score a century, there's full pressure. But when the player thinks, I just want to play each ball properly, then there is performance, right? So the focus on action, success improves. Focus on results, stress increases, right? Similarly, in a family situation, right? Nishkam Karma Yoga does not mean neglect family. It means serve family. Krishna has given me the family. It's a service that I'm doing, right? But I do it without any selfish expectation. Oh, I'll serve my family, so mujhe ye milega, right? Overall. I do so much, nobody appreciates me. No, you should say I serve because it's my duty, and then you have peaceful relationships, right? Krishna is not about removing motivations, he's about upgrading it from selfish to selfless, right? So don't look for a reward, work with excellence and offer the results, and that gives you both both success and peace. Attachment gives you tension, detachment gives you excellence.
अब समझ में आ गया. Right. Thank you.
Okay. Haribol, any questions? Other questions, Sukrut, Rahul, Rinaji? I think we've lost quorum also. Huh?
No, Lalit.
No, it was clear.
Okay, thank you for joining on the Sunday evening. I hope it was fun. I think it's a very good session. It's so practical for our day-to-day life, this chapter. And we'll continue on our next class then. Okay?
Okay, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.